Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, there was an Episcopal ordination going on in the Catholic Church, and the Catholic priest stood up to mention some names in recognition of the leaders in this country. What has surprised Kenyans is the manner in which the congregants in that church, which was very full, received those leaders, cheered the leaders in the church. He mentioned William Samoei Ruto as the president. He mentioned Ruto Gachagwa as the deputy president, and he also proceeded to mention Uhuru Kenyatta as the former president. The crowd cheered Uhuru Kenyatta. The crowd cheered Ruto Gachagwa. The crowd cheered William Samoei Ruto. But one name was outstanding the other names in terms of how the crowd cheered Uhuru Kenyatta. It was overwhelming. It was a warm welcome. It was super amazing to Uhuru Kenyatta just to see how the church received him. And that is posing a huge question to William Ruto and Ruto Gachagwa. They are the ones now in the office. Watch this video shortly, then we are going to continue with this discussion.
Your Excellency Bert Van Mergen, Apostolic Nuncio to Kenya and South Sudan, here present. Your Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and the Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces. Your Excellency Rigathi Gachagwa, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. And Your Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, here present. Thank you. Our former President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Graces, Your Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and the Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces. Your Excellency Rigathi Gachagwa, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. And Your Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, here present. Thank you.
Now, simple question. Why is it that the crowd cheered Uhuru Kenyatta so much loudly than Gachagwa and William Ruto? That is the question. But before we answer this question, just a quick request for those who are watching and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing to our returning subscribers. I must say thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to this discussion. Now, the truth is that Mama Ngina Kenyatta has a history with the Catholic Church, and the entire Kenyatta family is of Catholic faith, apart from the old Mzee, the late Kenyatta. For him, he had history with the Akorino Church, and we all know that. So because of that, of course, the family has close touch with the Catholic Church. So they are one of the Catholic members. That one we understand. But above all, I can tell you, even if this was in the Protestant church today, if it was happening in the Protestant church, the church would the same way cheer so loudly Uhuru Kenyatta, especially if this was happening in Mount Kenya. They would still cheer Uhuru. So sio kwamba tu they have connection with the Catholic Church or they have been good believers or members of the Catholic Church. No. There is something beyond that, and it is obvious. When the church look at William Ruto and Gachagwa, they see a betrayer. There is no one who promised the same way Ruto promised the church that he's going to form a government that will be a God-fearing, a government that's going to respect the church, a government formed on the foundation of the church. But today, we are seeing a total opposite of that. So the church has to do a comparison between the previous regime and the current one. Which one respected the church? Indeed, Uhuru respected the church. Today, this administration has no regard for any church. They're even going further to close some churches. They are opening too much wars. When the church sees or hears anyone mentioning William Ruto, they see an oppressor. They feel that that name, William Ruto, is their problem. There is no any other government that has oppressed Kenyans, especially when we have the new constitution. We have moved so many, strides ahead. Revolution has happened in Kenya. The constitution has changed, where power belongs to the people. But we see a man in power who wants to take us back. So Kenyans see an oppressor. When you mention William Ruto, they feel that unataja mtu ambaye amewasumbua kimawazo, kibiashara, kimaisha, socially, in very many ways. Because of that, you can see how Uhuru is being received. So many do remember Uhuru Kenyatta because of what they are going through right now under William Samoei Ruto. If Uhuru had not made a history in this country in terms of how he governed, and if William Ruto would have not failed in terms of how he's governing, then no one would remember Uhuru Kenyatta, and hiyo kelele haitakuweko yenye anapigiwa saa hizi. Hiyo shangwe haitakuweko. But because Ruto has failed so worse, then people would remember the good thing that Uhuru Kenyatta did. And that's why Uhuru is a welcomed guest. William Ruto is not welcomed. Gachagwa is not welcomed. This regime is proving to be so inhumane. We have never had the kind of strike we are having today by doctors. Today, our own people are dying in hospitals simply because no doctor to attend to them, and the government is not willing to negotiate with the doctors. Instead, they are throwing threats and intimidation. They have failed to restore the dignity of Kenyans who are in hospitals, the sick, because doctors have not been heard for their cry. Their demand they're putting on table, which was agreed under Uhuru Kenyatta, and it was supposed to be implemented going forward. But this regime, when they came to power, they rubbished everything that was agreed under Uhuru Kenyatta. Hawa watu hawajali wa Kenya, wanakufa kwa hospitali. When you hear someone mentioning Ruto, and you know that your own person just died in hospital because there was no doctors, utashangilia? Haitafanyika. Utakumbuka yule kiongozi mwingine. Talk about our economy. Talk about those who are in business. Talk about companies operating in this country. Many Kenyans have lost their jobs because companies are now closing and they're moving to other countries to do their business. Imagine you are affected as an individual. Alafu unasikia wanataja jina ya William Ruto na wanataja ya Uhuru Kenyatta. Definitely you will cheer Uhuru Kenyatta, but you can even boo William Ruto. Sasa hiyo ni sababu Uhuru anashangiliwa kuliko William Ruto. Because kuna watu pale ndani hata mpaka jamii zao, one of their beloved or breadwinner hana kazi kwa sababu kampuni zilifungwa. Why? Because the policies that were put in place under William Ruto are so dangerous. Many people who are in business are closing their business. Mama mboga hana biashara. Saizi biashara yenye inafanyika Kenya saizi kubwa ni biashara ya wale wanafanya biashara ya mbolea gush. They are now millionaires. Those who are in oil business, they are now billionaires. Lakini Wakenya wanakufa huku chini. Biashara zao zimekufa. You cannot celebrate such kind of a person. So the church is embracing Uhuru Kenyatta, but not William Ruto, not Gachagwa, because they lied too much and they failed this country. So Ruto and Gachagwa made Uhuru Kenyatta popular, and now the popularity is being visibly seen in the church. The congregants' body language can tell a lot. So the church is finally rejecting Ruto and Gachagwa, and they are now embracing Uhuru Kenyatta. Nabado. So if Ruto was relying on the church to be elected, let him know that 2027, he cannot ride on the church for his election. The church has now rejected him. Kenya ni nchi ambayo ni ya demokrasia. Demokrasia ya Kenya inasema kwamba wengi wape. The majority will have their way and the minority will have their say. So majority is now rejecting Ruto. They are having their way.